Hi, Mr. Jones back, and it's the 27th of February. It's a Thursday and the sun is just dipping down behind the houses over there after a beautiful sunny day where I've been generating lots of solar power. Very positive day, quite chilly now, so I'm going to do this quickly. So this video is going to be DIY conservatory roof replacement structural considerations. So in previous videos, we've discussed the fact that you are very unlikely to need planning permission. You are very unlikely to need building control involvement, inspections and all that sort of stuff. And I've explained why I replaced the roof. Not only was it too cold in the winter, it wasn't too hot in the summer, but it was too cold in the winter, it was leaking, it was drafty, and it was becoming unsafe. Before embarking on replacement of the roof, I read wildly about the strength of UPVC structures. And looking at the conservatory, it would appear as if it is all plastic. But there is aluminium within the vertical sections. And of course, the roof structure is also aluminium. So, how to work out what roof weight the walls of your conservatory can support? Well, I decided that this was not possible. So the best way to approach the issue was by strengthening the existing structure and ensuring that the roof weighs less than the glass roof that is being removed. I toyed with the idea of replacing the rafters with wood or one of the modern substitutes, but decided that this would add significant complexity and would be difficult to execute on my own. And you know, I do everything on my own. The downside of aluminium, of course, is that it conducts heat. So you need insulation around it, and it could also be a source of condensation. We don't need to become experts in roof structures if we're staying well within the existing loads, but it's probably a good idea to have some knowledge of a particular weakness inherent in vaulted ceilings so commonly used in conservatories. Well, it's the morning of the next day, so it's Friday the 28th of February. I don't know why I get excited about Fridays, because I work every day. The good thing is I love my work, so it doesn't really matter, but I still get excited about weekends. Another thing I get excited about is if people subscribe to my channel. I'm terrible at the moment. I keep flicking onto my YouTube to see how many views I'm getting. They're not in the thousands, well, some are in the thousands. They're not in the hundreds of thousands that one would like. And I only have 109 subscribers at the moment. So if you're watching, please put a smile on my face, subscribe. It'll be great, it means a lot to me. And I watch the viewer figures ticking up, which is great. And it's a nice upward trend. But anyway, let's get back to the point. Yesterday I was talking about the structural aspects of the work on the conservatory. Now what you can see is a very simple roof. You can build a roof like this, but this is extremely simple. This isn't the strongest roof we're looking at here. But if you're looking at it, you can see that you have a ridge board along the top and rafters leaning onto it. So the idea is that the forces coming down from the tiles, the other roof coverings, etc., or Mr. Jones when he is clambering about on it, go onto the ridge board, and if Mr. Jones isn't on one side, then they're fairly equal and opposite. So that's a good situation. And you can see that with the forces coming down, there'll be a tendency for the rafters to try and splay out. But they can't, because you see you've got these joists. They call it, on this drawing, they call them ceiling joists, and they stop them splaying out. So this is a fairly stable structure, but it's not what we've got in a vaulted ceiling in a conservatory. We do not have those joists. If the joists were there, you wouldn't have a lovely uninterrupted view right up to the top of your ceiling. So they are dispensed with, meaning that the structure isn't so strong. And the downside and the inherent weakness I mentioned is the fact that there's a tendency for the rafters to try and push the walls outwards. Now, in the case of my conservatory, I've got the house behind, so it can't push that over. But on the other side, I've got UPVC strengthened with aluminium sitting onto a brick wall, both of which would be very prone to being toppled over. So how do they get around it, particularly on my conservatory? I'll show you now, because I took some video yesterday just looking around the conservatory. I'll show you now how it's counteracted in the particular design that I've got. Okay, I've moved inside in order to show you the vaulted roof of my conservatory. There you can see the rafters, which are made of aluminium. They don't look too thick on the inside, but they actually are quite substantial, and you can't see most of them. There you can see the ridge that they are firmly fixed to, and that makes sure that the loads are equal and opposite. So the loads on this roof are going to be trying to push these walls out. So in our case, we have a rear section of the roof which is connected into the back of our house, and a box gutter which is structural as well. This is tied into a heavy aluminium beam which goes all the way around. It's all tied in. I've checked to make sure that they really are connected together all the way around, and it's a big span there and all the way around, and then it eventually meets up with another box gutter which is on the side wall, which is to our dining room. This is secured to that wall as well, but the effect of this is it forms a complete loop of aluminium, heavy aluminium, all the way around. So the forces are onto that, not pushing the front wall out, and the only forces we're having onto the UPVC structure are downwards, in which it'll be inherently a lot stronger. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you are sticking within the existing weight of the roof, then there should not be any issues. All the hard work of the engineering should have been done previously when the conservatory was designed and installed. When I look around, the majority of the conservatories that I see are exactly this design. And it seems that this was the premier company who produced all the sections for this that builders used to manufacture them. So I would imagine that majority are going to have this continuous aluminium, which is tied in somewhere, which then stops the forces trying to push the walls out. But it might be a good idea to check. Well, if you're going to do the work, you're going to check to see if that is the situation. I referred to strengthening of the roof. I'll deal with that later, because it wasn't not true to say really strengthening. I put wooden beams in which are to hold the tongue and groove ceiling in place and to put the insulation between, but they had the effect of stiffening the rafters quite nicely as well. But all the detail of that will be shown in a separate video. So really, from a structural point of view, it's about staying within the existing weight and not doing anything to weaken the existing structure in any way. So that's basically it for structure. The next video I'm going to get out of the way, is if you're unlucky enough to have a box gutter like we did. We got two. Then how to deal with it, how to get rid of them, because they are a total nightmare.